You know what? We'll merge these two videos together. David Montgomery is getting a third opinion. Dan Campbell said that he's wanting a third opinion. How quickly things change. It went from out for the season, and we've been seeing that a lot this year of quick, he's done for the year, just done. And it's based off of timing as well because, I mean, we only have 3 weeks left in the regular season, and then, you know, the Lions have at least a fourth guaranteed game. But David Montgomery, I'm like, so it sounds like he really, really is trying to decide whether or not he can play. David Montgomery, he might be one of my favorite players, like, of all time. I'm going to tell you why. This guy, I remember when he came in and he had his press conference for becoming a Detroit Lion a couple years ago. And he said, it was something that he said. Now, we had Swift on the team. We had DeAndre Swift on the team. And this is before DeAndre Swift was traded. And this kind of, to me, signaled the end of DeAndre Swift, even though it hadn't been official yet. David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift would have been an interesting combination. But not as interesting as Jahmyr Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles. That's something you don't see. But David Montgomery stated in his press conference how he takes it personal if he can't play. He literally takes it personal. And we've seen in the games that he's missed this year that he takes it personal. And I find myself, I'm wondering if the Lions are going to have to protect this guy from himself, because David Montgomery, according to Dan Campbell, is on his third opinion. So you get opinion number one. I'm guessing opinion number one says you're done for the season. David, like, nah, I'm not having that. Is it some hope that well, it might be some hope you can play. Okay, you know what? I want a second opinion. So David Montgomery goes and gets a second opinion. I'm wondering if the second opinion was like, you know what? If these things happen, we go in, we do a little cleanup, you give it a couple weeks, you could be back for the NFC title game or the Super Bowl. David Montgomery says, okay, let's get one more. One more opinion. How often is it that you hear that a player goes for a third opinion? Usually one is enough. You know what, man? You really shouldn't do that. Okay, done. I'm on it. David's like, nope, not one, not two, but I need 3 opinions before I call it quits. David Montgomery has a possibility to return this season, and he is not taking no for an answer. But I saw that very early on, that Monty takes this personal. Whenever you talk about him and he talks about being injured, he takes it personal. That's why what Devondre Campbell did was so egregious. That is why he's been suspended 3 games without pay. That is why he may not see an NFL snap at all, because you just don't do that. You have a person like David Montgomery that is trying his best and stay healthy, you know, not jeopardize his future and his career, but he's trying his best not to be put up this season for the greater good of his team. And you got guys that quit on their team. Monty will find a way to play for the playoffs. Monty is a workhorse. Indeed, he should. They are looking for a way out, maybe not so good. Monty looking for a good to go, says David. He might. But, of course, the Lions have the final say. They're going to decide whether or not Monty plays or he goes forward. And I think that right now we got to wait and see. He had a coat drive yesterday and said that he's trying to work out the logistics. He's not ready to call it quits. I commend that. Obviously, you know, the Lions are, one thing I can say about our team is that we do not have to worry about them putting a player out there injured like that. This current setup of guys, we're not going to do that. Dave Montgomery is too vital, and they care too much about him as a person to let him go out there if he cannot go. But very similar to Hutch, if it's possible, it might not be plausible, but if it's possible, then they'll let it happen. They will let it happen. But I'm very intrigued as to whether or not this is going to happen. He's going to come back. Because think about it. Aleem McNeil, he got hurt. He walked off. He was carted off. David Montgomery came back in the game after the initial injury on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. It was probably later. They held him out. We saw a little Craig Reynolds, I believe. I was up in the threes, so it was hard to see. But he went back out there. And so that tells me, okay, maybe he could have. I mean, Fred Warner is playing with like a broken ankle right? So I don't know, man. We shall see. But let me know your thoughts. Do you feel like David Montgomery should just pack it up? We just roll with Craig Reynolds. We go from there. Sione Vaki and Jamar Jefferson, who's now on the practice squad. Or if David Montgomery can legitimately come back and play, do you think it's worth the risk? I'm going to tell you what. This is what I think David Montgomery is thinking. I'm thinking he's saying, we had a chance to get there last year. We couldn't. We were running through teams this year. I mean, I myself was literally running over people. Now I'm hurt. We have an opportunity to get there. This is what I think David Montgomery is thinking. And the Lions may have to protect him from himself. He's thinking, you know what? If we win a Super Bowl, all this is worth it. I can do something Barry Sanders never did. I can do something Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford never did in Detroit. Your name will be in the history books. See, if the Lions don't make the Super Bowl this year, they don't win it this year, they're going to remember that, but you're going to be quickly forgotten. You're going to be about the team that went 15-2, 14-3 in the regular season and couldn't win the Super Bowl. But if David Montgomery can help his team get there and win at the sacrifice of his knee, I think he could be. That's the type of guy I think David Montgomery is. He takes it personal. Remember, he said earlier in the year it was something, and he said take it personal, right? So that's what I think. The Lions might have to step in and protect him from himself. I only want the best for him. We will find a way to win without him.